Alright, let's talk about Corona Sun. But just before that, let's just close this void a little bit more. So let's go to an orthographic view. Let's pick this edge or face right here. And with our W key, we can just drag it like so. Let's go to our camera view and let's just close it a little bit. Now obviously we also have to pick our window frames. So I'm just going to pick this edge and drag it like this. The window doesn't really matter if it's going through the wall because it's not going to be visible anyways. Alright, let's go back. That looks pretty nice. Now our sun can be found here on the Create tab under the light bulb icon. Now right now we're in photometric, but if we go and choose the Corona, we'll find the Corona options. Let's go for Corona Sun. Now, like any other object, we can click and drag. So our first drag is going to just point our target from our sun. So I'm just going to place it anywhere as I'm going to modify it later. And then the second click that we give this, it's going to give the height for our sun. So we're just going to click it anywhere for now and right click it once we have it. Now I want the sun to go through this window that we just modified. As always, we have the gizmo for this type of object. So I'm just going to place it over here, and now its target, I'm also going to place it like so, like it's going inside our interior space there. Now if I select the sun and go to the modify tab, I will find some parameters that we can adjust. First of all, we have the intensity, that it works just like our Corona sky, and usually this value of 1 is pretty high, so we're going to be reducing it once we go into our rendering settings. Now the size is very important, as the bigger the size of our sun, the softer our shadows are going to be. So let's keep that in mind. For the color, we have the realistic. So if we just lower the sun like so, this sun is going to be in a reddish or orange color that will simulate that golden hour. We also have this direct input, in which if we just click once here in our color, we will have this color palette that will let us select a specific color for our sun. We can also select it by placing in some Kelvin temperature. So if we reduce this, it's going to turn into an orange color, and vice versa. If we just increase this, it's going to go into colder colors. So right click to reset this. We're going to be keeping it at realistic for now. We also have the visibility parameters. We can make this sun invisible, but still we will still receive the light that it produces. We can tell it not to be visible in reflections from our windows, for example. Now, visible in refractions and generate caustics, we're going to be looking at it soon. For now, let's just leave it as it is. Now let's go into our rendering options. So let's go inside of our project and let's go to our render setup. Now let's go to a scene tab and start our interactive rendering. Now, if we just hit our P key, we can actually go out from our camera view. So let's hit the P. And now I can just move inside. Notice that I've stopped my rendering right now and just want to locate my perspective so that I can see my sun. Also, using the zoom tool at the right bottom side, I can use it just to go a little bit backwards like this. Now let's go and restart our interactive render. Now, because our Corona sky is a bit too bright, we can't actually see our sun. So let's go into our material editor, and if we just take our Corona sky and reduce it to 0.1 for instance, we will be able to start seeing our sun. Let's just pick again our sun, and let's just reduce its intensity for a little bit. And let's bring it a little bit downwards, like so. Now we also can increase the size from our sun. And that's way too much. Alright, and now just a little bit up here, just like that. Now we move closer to our table, and let's just bring this sun up a little bit so that we can see the shadows that it's casting. Let's just take a look at how they react if we change the size from our sun. So let's right click to reset this, and notice that because my size is at 1, my shadows are looking very sharp. But what happens if I take this size from our sun to 10? these shadows will be much more softer, and I can actually go all the way to 50, let's say, and now my shadows are really soft. But my sky has also gone a little bit brighter because of the size from our light. Let's take it to 10 and let's go back to our original camera position. So for this, I'm just going to press C and it's going to take me right back to it. Now let's say that I'm working in a different viewport, but I still want to see my frame buffer render this specific viewport. So for this, I'm going to just lock this frame buffer to this viewport here. And I can do this just by pressing here on the lock icon. So now if I go to scene and start interactive, let's say if I go out here to another viewport, you can see that I'm still rendering my viewport from my camera. Now in this view, I can actually start playing with my sun while looking at my interactive rendering. Now, if we wanted to add a Corona Sky environment, it's gonna tell us if we want to replace the actual Corona Sky with a new Corona Sky. So it doesn't make any sense that we replace it with the same thing. So just something for you to know what this option does. We can also exclude objects from receiving the light that the sun is producing. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that for most interior renderings, probably 90% of them, we are always going to use an HDRI or the Corona Sky, as this will give us a little bit more of a realistic effect to them. So you can see that it's very easy for us to manipulate this Corona Sun. It's a very friendly user tool, so you won't have any problems controlling it. Now again, we use the Sun tool more for the exterior shots. So that's it for this lecture. It's been a short one. Have a little bit of fun with the sun, and if you want to, you can keep modeling some of the furniture so that you can analyze how the different size from our sun can affect your interior scene. So keep practicing, everyone. I'll see you in the next lecture.